Okay, Torah Or Miket's 82nd column. The Gemara says, Ner Chanukah mitzvah anicha mismel. The mitzvah of Ner Chanukah is to put on the left side of the doorway, Kadesh mezuzah mimin v'Ner Chanukah mismel. So the Gemara says like this: if you're lighting it in the doorpost, so you put the Chanukah menorah on the left side because the mezuzah is on the right side, and then you're surrounded with mitzvahs. So he says, the right is more important than left. If right is more important than left, the menorah should also be on the right side. Why is the menorah on the right, mezuzah on the right, Chanukah light on the left? He says in the pasuk, whatever Hashem wants, He does. Another pasuk says, "Bidvar Hashem Shemayim Nasu." With the word of Hashem, everything was created. Ube'er Basarim Maimars Nivra Elam, which is our Maimer V'Dibor, which is speech. V'lei Nivra B'Chafetz V'Ratzim Bilvad. In other words, like this: one pasuk says, "Kol Asher Chafetz Asa," which means everything Hashem Asa created was with Chafetz, will, desire. Another pasuk says Hashem created it with speech. So the question: did He create it with will, or did He create it with speech? How did He create the world? Everything in the world, there is the matter and there's the form. The form and matter. Matter means the general thing. It's wood, it's paper, whatever. Whether it should be a shemaim or a sun or moon. Vatsura, and the shape is called sir v'chol tmor b'mare v'shatach sheyesh l'chol davar b'dmusi b'tzalmi. And shape is how that thing should be. In other words, matter means the thing exists. What should exist? That's matter. How it should exist, what shape, what color, what form, whatever, that is already what's called surah. K'mar Shemayim Bar is saying Kedurim. For instance, Hashem said, let there be heaven and earth. Okay, that's the mitzias, the matter. Now, whether the world should be round or flat, or this size or that size, or that already is the surah, the form, not the matter. Like the Gemara says, from heaven to earth is 500 years. And the sun and the moon and Galgal and Miriam are the things that the Galgal, the go around the world. The same thing in everything Hashem created. There's form and there's matter, or matter and form. So he says like this: the chaymer, the actual matter of the thing, nivra bedvar Hashem ubasara maimoris. The fact that there's a sun, moon, orbits, whatever, that's all the matter that was created bidvar Hashem, with the word of Hashem. Shemayim nasu, heaven was made. Nisava bechinas or miyayin liyash. So when Hashem said Yehi Or, light became created. That means the existence of light, the matter of light, became existent. And that created the form of heaven, not the form, the mitzias of heaven. But the form of the sun and the moon, or the heaven and earth, that's b'chefetz Hashem. That doesn't come in speech. In other words, when Hashem said, let's make the earth, He didn't say, let's make a round earth. Hashem said, let there be a heaven, let there be earth, whatever. So that created the actual physical entity called earth, or heaven, or whatever it may be. The form of the matter, whether that it's round, or this distance, or that distance, and that is already created, not from the word of Hashem, but from the chafet, kol asher chafetz Hashem asa, that was created from the willpower. That Hashem wanted that this matter, this entity, should be in a certain form, shape, or size.
We say Hashem created everything on the first day and the next day He put it in the right place.
Yes.
So how does that fit into this formula?
What's the difference? On the first day, all of matter was created, and then He formed everything and shaped everything, either on the first day,
Or the days that...
whatever. In other words, according to the Medrash, that says everything was created on the first day, that means sun, moon, everything was created on the first day. Or the expression of the Medrash, Nitla Medrash, He hung up the sun, Hashem hung it up in the sky, that was on Wednesday. Yeah? So what's the difference? The matter was created on Sunday, and the form could also be created Sunday, but He didn't hang it up until Wednesday.
Hanging up,
Nothing to do with it. So he says like this. Avihine, ma shenivra chayme b'mayme v'dibur. Now so now the Rebbe is saying like this. The matter, the entity was created with speech. The design was created with willpower. Why did it have to be that way? Why couldn't the will of Hashem create the matter also? So he says, Ma shenivra chayme b'mayme v'dibur, v'li nivra kol b'chefetz Hashem v'ritzeini b'lvad. Why didn't Hashem just create everything with His will, even the shape? He said, because then it would be a revelation of a separate entity. World wouldn't exist. In other words, like this. Will of Hashem is much higher than speech. Speech is a limitation of an intellectual concept or an emotional concept, so speech is a limitation. What I want is even higher than seichel. Rotzein, willpower, is even higher than seichel. And then you have in Lashon Kodesh, you have rotzein, and you have chayfetz. Right? You say rotzein yerev yasa, rotzein whatever, and then you have kol asher chafetz hashemas. What's the difference? Chafetz means desire, and rotzein means will and desire. So this explains also, question of Lashon Kodesh. Rotzein is an external will. Chafetz is the real will. So to speak, like chitzein yisaratzin and pnim yisaratzin. We learned many times, a person wants to work. They want to work. They have a ratzin to work. But that's not the real purpose. The real thing is they want money. The real what ratzin is they want money. In order to make money, you have to work. So therefore, I want to work. So wanting to work is the external will. And then you have what's the pneumius ratzin, to make money. And by the way, that's not even the real pneumius ratzin, because what are you going to do with money? We don't want to buy things. So there's a lot of different levels. But you have even, so he says, if everything would be created with chafetz Hashem, kol asher chafetz Hashem, that level would be such a revelation of godliness, unlimited, that the world would not be in existence. It would be completely subservient and bottled to Hashem. It wouldn't be existing. So the matter, in order to exist, yesh mi'ayin, that it should be something matter that should exist, that has to be with speech. If it come from a higher level, then it wouldn't exist. It would just be bottled. It would be just only elokus. Ratzin, willpower, is so powerful. As we know, it affects your seichel. Ratzin is higher than seichel. That's why the Gemara says in two places, two different expressions. La'ilam yomad odom b'makom sheli be'reitza, or sometimes it says b'makom sheli b'chafetz. A person should learn in a place where they want to learn. Whatever, in the place where they want it. Why? Because if I want something, that causes your seichel to work better. Look, you don't know something you have a will for, your seichel works much better than something you don't want to do. So willpower is even stronger than, more above, not only midas, it's above seichel. It dictates seichel. So therefore, if Hashem would have created everything with will, chafetz, which is not only external will, the pneumius will, So then the world would be completely bottled. So what did Hashem do? Hashem created the matter. Now, the form of it, so to speak, that's what we have a big hand in. Not whether the world is round or not, that's Hashem made. But whether the world is holy or not, that's up to us.
One doesn't exist without the other.
You can't have matter without form. No, you can't have form without matter in it. By the way, by definition, every matter has a form. Every matter is a certain size, every shape. I mean, it exists it's a certain way.
From matter to form, there's time. Where is time here?
Who's talking about time? How does time get here?
Because scientifically, you can know.
It takes you time to do that, but not as
You said
Ti-
every matter has a form, so like what like gases, like oxygen or things like
There's a form of it. It's not as tangible as a book, but how much gas, how powerful, that also. Even ruchnius, even spirituality. There's chaymer and surah, spirituality. Avo'ef and surah saki, okay. Therefore, the primary existence of matter, the yesh miyayin, that's Ayidei Dvar Hashem, through the word of Hashem. Kutziva v'nivro lashim mitzvahs hamelech, which is the expression of the commandment of the king, like it says, Malchus chamalchus kol elamim, which is a melech b'loyam, meaning speech is kingdom, malchus, because like the pasuk said, b'dvar melech shultein, a king rules with speech. How does a king rule a country? He doesn't go show himself to the country. In fact, he doesn't. He sits in the palace. How does he dictate the rules? He gives orders. He gives orders, and they say he rules with speech. So speech represents the level of malchus. So malchus malchus kol elamim, from the lowest level of malchus creates all the world. That is a level of speech, because ein melech b'lo yam. Gemara says, there's a pasuk. It's ein melech b'lo yam. You can't have a king if there's no nation. You can't have a king without a nation. Who's he king over? Not only that, in order to be a king, we learned many times, there has to be subjects which are not the king, foreigners, and those are subjugated and bottled to the king. Like Chassidus says in the expression, you can't be a king over your own children, because they're an extension of you. That's the definition of a king, means they're subjects. What are subjects? Separate people, separate entities that subjugate themselves to the king. That's the definition of kingdom. You can't be a king over yourself. You can't be a king over your own children, because the children are an extension of the parent. They're not foreigners. In fact, Chassidus asks the question, we say Avidei Adonai L'Mashem Molach, which is a very holy tefillah, by the way. It said Adonai the master of the world, Hashem Molach, who ruled, B'terem Kol Yitzur Nivra, before anything was created. So Chassidus asks the question, how can Hashem be a king if nothing was created yet? B'terem Kol. So Chassidus answers the loftiest of whatever it is. It's a lot of my morning, Adonai L'Mashem Molach, that asks this question. How can Hashem be a king if there's nobody there yet? So dibur, which is leaving the person, speech leaves the person, you can measure it after it's spoken. Or like they say in America, before you speak, you control your words. After you speak, your words control you. Okay? So you said the words, it leaves you. Basically, that's why it's creating a separate entity. So this matter, chomer, which represents the matter of existence, the substance of it, that's created with dibur, because dibur leaves a person. That's the level of malchus. which by definition there's automatically foreigners.
But it's the will of the king that makes the dibur of the king.
No. Yeah. The Chayfetz Hashem, because he wanted a world, therefore he said dibur. But the dibur part of it creates the chomer, and the willpower creates the tzura, the form. No? Okay. Even when people speak without thinking, like most people do, yeah? In Indian, not only did you think it, you had to think what the letters to say, you had to think. But you wanted to say it, if not you wouldn't say it, just doesn't come out. Even if you talk in your sleep, the subconscious is wanting to speak, and therefore you speak.
That means ultimately it was the will of Hashem that created the form.
Yeah.
The world.
In other words, why did Hashem create matter? Because he wanted us to make the form for the matter, holy or unholy. And by Hashem creating the form the way he created the form is teaching us how we need to deal with the matter that he created. Halacha, whatever. In other words, Hashem created the pig. That's the chomer. The fact that the pig is sholosh kipsat tmeis, that you're not allowed to eat it, that's the tzura. That's the form. It's not the matter. The form is that this is total evil, and the chair is klipas noga, neutral evil. This could be elevated. That can be elevated.
What is Alter Rebbe trying to tell us?
To be a good Jew. He's not done yet. You have to, he says, because by meditating into all this, the person will come to want to be closer to Hashem. The whole purpose of Chassidus is to realize Ein Eid Milvadei, okay, that there's nothing but Hashem. Now, in order to understand there's nothing but Hashem, we need to first learn a little bit what Hashem is, to realize what we don't understand what Hashem is. Not because we can't understand what he is. We cannot understand what he's not. We can understand what he's not. Well, like we learned the other day, we can know the mitzias, but not the mohus. Like, I know we have a neshama, yeah? I don't see the neshama. I don't see your neshama. I see you functioning. Obviously you're alive, you're not dead. So I know its existence. But what it is, we don't know. We see Hashem, the world functioning. We see Hashem's function in the world. What he is, that we don't know. Well, we mentioned Shabbos, that it says in Chassidus, that what does Chassidus do? It's Meshana the Metzias and Megala the Mohus. It changes the person, the behavior, and it reveals, it changes, we have to change our character, teaches how to change our character, but it reveals the essence of the Jew. Because the essence of the Jew is so infinite that nothing stands in the way, and we could do it, and we could change it, but that's all what Hashem created in us, in the world, to create the tzura, the form of the world. So Hashem, of course, made the world in a certain form. He made the world round. Why did he make the world round? We understand that it's the level of makifim, and encompassing level, all that stuff. For us to do Avodah. So that's because it only should be revealed in the name. Okay. Torah Or, Parshas Miketz, 82, second column in the middle of the page. Okay. Now, the Maimer begins with Ner Chanukah. You have to put it on the left because mezuzah is on the right. So he says, what's the reason for that? So he says, he has a contradiction. One pasuk says, Kol asher chafetz Hashem asa, whatever Hashem wanted, He created. That means He created it with will. And another pasuk said, Bidvar Hashem Shemayim Nasa, Hashem created with speech. So the Alter Rebbe explains, there's matter and form. Matter, the Gashmistic actual thing, Hashem created with, that's the, okay, Tzura, 1 second. Yeah, the chaymer, the material, was created with Bidvar Hashem, the word of Hashem, because that's something that leaves Hashem, Kaviyachol, so therefore it's similar to Yesh Miyayin. But this is the surah, the form, that was created from the will of Hashem, because Hashem wanted the form, meaning the way we make the Gashmis into Ruchnis. And then he said, that's Talmeinu Kidmuseinu. The two things, that's what we're in the middle of now.
How do we make Gashmis into Ruchnis?
When you do a mitzvah, you make it holy. Okay, so he says now, Mamish middle of the second column. That's what the pasuk says. That I praise Hashem because the name of Hashem, because He commanded and it became like the physical analogy of a king. As far as the country is concerned, the kingdom, the sovereignty of the king is only in his words. Like we said, the king doesn't go out. The king sits in the palace and gives orders. It's not that actually that the king comes into the world, into the country. Hashem doesn't come into the world. It's Shem Hashem that comes into the world. And how does Hashem come into the world? That's through Ba'ayin Sodom, through the 70 Malachim in charge of the 70 nations. There's Sar Shemayim and Sar Shalish, which these Malachim come Mishmar Eifanim. They come from the sediment, the junk of the higher Malachim called Eifanim. That means the way Hashem comes into the physical matter of the world is through Tzimtzum. Not him, but his name. Just like a king doesn't lower himself to go to the country, his order, his name, the king said. The same thing as Hashem. V'yesh gavaya me'al gavaya, and there's levels higher upon higher. Shemekablim gamkin derech ila va'olul, that also are cause and effect. Adam alochim shem sichnu nivdolim, which are individual levels. Like you have Gavriel Michal, one's Mayim, one's Eish, Shem Pnei Arya, Pnei Shosha B'Merkava. But the Chayis of the Pnei Shor and Pnei Arya, who Yesh Miyayim Mamish, is Mamish Yesh Miyayim. How do the creations of the Merkava, the Shor Arya, which is the source of all animals, all beasts, all birds and everything, Hanun, and Shor the Chayis Shalahem, is Bechinas Ayin V'Ha'ara B'Alma, which is the name, Shem Bovad, it's only the name of Hashem. What do we say? Yahalulu Hashem Hashem, Ki Nizkov Shmei Levadi, even the name of Hashem is exalted. Haidai, a ray of His name, is Al-Eretz Shemayim, not a ray of Hashem. The simple meaning of the pasuk is, Haidai means the ray of His name. The name of Hashem is exalted. It's very great. What comes into the world to directly make the world function and exist is the level of the name.
I mean, Haidu is the praise, no?
Yeah, who said no? I mean, but why did Hashem create Yesh Miyayin? What's the purpose of Yesh Miyayin? That in other words, like this, we learned many times. Hashem created something from nothing, so to speak. Gashmias from Ruchnias. Our function, our role, our mission is to make the Gashmias back into Ruchnias. How? You take the Gashmiastic object, you do a mitzvah with it. The paper becomes holy. The tefillin become holy. The wool becomes holy. The candles become holy. So that's our function, is to make the Gashmis back into Ruchnias. So he said, it should be bought to live and nigluk vein Hashem lemata kamei lemayla. What's the ultimate purpose? Dira b'tachtein. What does Dira B'Tachtoina mean? The same way Hashem's essence is revealed up there, the same revelation of Hashem should be lamata down here also.
Through mitzvahs.
Yes. Ki ayin ba'ayin yu v'zetoli ba'avidasenu. Kol yameinu. This is, how do we do this? This is our Aveda every day of Hayim La'aseisim today, not in Olam Haba. In this world, to make it happen, V'chol Yisrael yesh lehem chelek l'Olam Haba. Every Jew has a chelek and a part in the world to come. V'tzara kol em echot laham shebechelkei, to reveal in his chelek gilui zeh, this revelation of this bittul hayesh, which nullifies the yesh, making it back ayin. It means like this. It says, Kol Yisrael yesh lehem chelek l'Olam Haba. Every Jew has a chelek l'Olam Haba. We say also, v'sein chelkeinu v'sein rasecha, which means every Jew has a part in Torah. Or, as, to use a more simpler language, every Jew has the 600,000 letters in Torah through various methods. Every Jew has a letter in the Torah. Every Jew has a letter in Torah. The function of the Jew is to find out which letter is mine, which is my level, and in that level to bring more kedusha. Meaning every Jew has a part. So what is Alter Rebbe saying here? We need the Torah mitzvahs we do in this world reveals godliness in our chelik in Olam Haba.
How do we know which is our letter?
That's why you have to keep everything. Because we don't know which it is, you have to keep everything.
No shortcuts, yes.
No shortcuts.
The short, long way.
No, the Alter Rebbe says it's supposed to be the long, short
I
way.
know, that's what I'm saying.
How do we get this bittul? Machmes his brain is B'Gedullah Saint Sav Baruch to meditate into the greatness of Hashem. Sha'at okedim shenivra elam, that the same Hashem, the way he was before the world, is the same Ata, the same God that is now that there is a world, b'li shem shinui, without any change in Hashem. Ki ani havai leishanisi. The pasuk says, I am Hashem that hasn't changed. Sheina olam ma'alim lefanav yizbarach. World doesn't conceal him at all. By him, light is like dark. Shein helen vehester. This concealment of godliness is only le'eni basa shalom. From our perspective, Hashem is hidden. But from Hashem's perspective, it's only light. There's no darkness, there's no light. He is what he is. So he says, what's our function? Hashem created Salmeinu Kidmuseinu. Hashem created the matter, the Gashmias. What's the purpose? What's the chayfetz of this Dvar Hashem? What's the form? Meaning, what does Hashem want from the matter that He created? He wanted that we should create again the yesh back into the ayin. That means the world should feel the same level down here as it is up there. How do we do that? By doing Torah mitzvahs and meditation in Hashem, that the whole concealment of godliness is only as far as we're concerned.
When we do mitzvah, do we elevate the form, or do we elevate the matter, or both?
Both.
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 There's some business people who do that too.
On Torah, we do both.
Therefore, we understand and realize that even the yesh, even the world, the matter of the world, not only the form of the world. It's like you have a piece of silver. Yeah, that's the matter. Okay? Now the question, what do you want to do with that silver? You can make a becher, a Kiddush cup, you can make a candle holder, you can make a million different things. Huh? Whatever, you can make a million different things with it. So, the matter, the silver was created by Hashem. People make the form out of the matter. But in creation, Hashem created matter and form. Matter he created b'dvar Hashem. Form he created b'kol asher chafetz Hashem, meaning that's what he wants. Like a person wants, figure out what do I want from the material, the matter of the silver. So the same thing, Hashem. Now, our job is to take the matter, which was yesh mi'ayin, which Hashem made in a way that godliness is concealed, and be us forming it. We're actually forming it that it's really elokus. Godliness.
There is a piece of silver that turns into a menorah,
Right.
as opposed to a piece of silver that
Whatever.
turns into.
Jewelry.
So Hashem decided that the form of that matter be a menorah as opposed to.
No, I think we decide.
We decide that.
It's a physical world.
We have a choice to make this into a menorah or not. Now the reality is, when you buy a menorah, okay, now, hashgacha pratis, remember, why is this particular piece of silver from all over the world, there's silver all over the place, let's say, yeah? So Hashem made that this particular piece of silver, this matter, this chomer, ended up to be made into a menorah that you bought in this place to use for Chanukah or Shabbos candles in this time. That means from all of, there's a whole story, I remember all the details of the story. A guy once came, I don't know if it's the Baditch or the Baal Shem Tov, a very wealthy man. Yeah, give him a cup. He told him, he gave him a cup, he just drank it without a bracha. So he said to him, let me tell you a story. He said there was a wheat that the neshama sinned, and it went up, and he decided in heaven they're going to come down as a wheat. And this wheat, it says if the neshama will be utilized and made a bracha on it, whatever, so then it will be elevated to where it belonged. Otherwise, it's going to be damned. Okay, so he told me a whole story, the way the wheat comes down and is grown through the seed, and the wheat is waiting for somebody maybe to buy him a Jew, and then it's made into grain and it's harvested, and bottom line, it was eventually made into a vodka, and it ended up in this bottle, in this cup, and you were supposed to be the one to make a bracha, and today's your father's yahrzeit. So he messed it up. Then he helped him out, of course. Yeah, no, he helped him out to tell him what to do. But listening to that story, it's very simple. Chassidus is self-understood. The fact that this paper, meaning when the tree was planted, that this paper came from, that this particular tree was cut down by this and this company and this dam, and it became paper. And then that paper ended up in the Kahas Publication Society, that they made this into this sefer, and that this sefer ended up in this building, and they were learning on this and this date. That's the matter that we have to make into the form.
What's that saying is that?
That means it's Basher from the beginning of creation, that this particular seed of that particular tree should end up here and learning Torah. Torah. That's why, like we said, you take this cup of coffee, yeah? Take a cup of coffee, yeah? There. Mm-hmm. This particular cup, from all cups in the world, and in this part of Hashem's master plan, like the leaf turning over, yeah? So this is this particular cup, with this particular coffee that ended up in this particular machine, and this ended up by him, that cup, not by me and you. That cup's by him, because that's his Aveda, and he can mess it up by not elevating it properly.
But HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the cup to this table. I said it wrong. But it was his doing.
Right. That means you didn't have free choice to pick which cup to take
Right.
and which coffee to take. Meaning, there's let's say 6, 5, 6, I don't know what it is. How many coffees in the machine? Choices. There's chocolate and coffee and lattes and what yeah? Now, realistically, I didn't have free choice to pick which one I wanted. I think I had free choice, but no. Hashem wanted that at this particular moment, I have to elevate that hot chocolate. So Hashem made everything happen that this cup of hot chocolate or latte or coffee, whatever it is, that I chose it. I think I chose it because that's what I'm in the mood of. If anything ever said that we say it every week in Heidu before Paschal Friday night. Re'evim gam tzemeim nafshem b'em tesatov. The pasuk said they're hungry, they're thirsty. Re'evim gam tzemeim nafshem, and the soul is cloaked within them. So the Friedrich Rebbe says, why are you re'evim v'gam tzemeim? Why are you hungry or thirsty? Why punkt all of a sudden now you want a cup of coffee? Because nafshem b'em tesatov, the nefesh is within you wanting to elevate that particular coffee now.
What if you drink something that's unhealthy for you?
Well, we're not dealing with health. We're talking about spiritual. I don't know.
You elevate?
I guess so.
You don't elevate.
You probably do.
Damage to God's spirit.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. This is what the pasuk says. Gadol Hashem, Hashem is great. V'adeneinu, and our master, mikol elakim, from all gods. What does it mean? Mikol elakim. Hem kol chav tzirufi eisis elakim. It refers to the 120 different combinations. Like, remember, two letters make 2 words, 3 letters make 6 words. So Elokim makes 120 possible combinations, which are malim umastirim er Hashem. Ukdusha say that Elokim is concealment. It blocks and conceals the revelation of Hashem. The vilti is gala erin tzav baruch k'mei shehu. This is all levels of concealing godliness. Because if Hashem would be revealed as is, the only thing that would be in the world is godliness. The world would be bottom. What Hashem wanted is that the world should appear to be a separate entity. But God meaning like this. There's a bunch of Elokims, a bunch of concealments of godliness. But God al-Havayim Mahul Yud Kevavke is overpowering the Elokim. A little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness.
There is a suggestion that there are different kind of gods out there.
Yeah, there's one's called money, one's called cars, one's called food, one's called sports, one's called, different gods. That's why in gods, there's pluralism.
Yeah.
But in Elokus, there's one God.
Explain it.
In godliness, there's one God. There's not a lot of gods.
As stated in Hebrew and the term used.
Okay. When we say Elokim Achedim,
Yes.
okay, other gods.
Right.
So Rashi in Chumash says, what do you mean other gods? There's only one God.
Yes.
What do you mean other gods?
Right.
So Rashi says, Achedim, Elokim Achedim means gods, Achedim, that people, others make them gods. They're not really gods. There's one Hashem, that's it.
Perception, wrong perception.
People make things God. Money, cars, sports, whatever it may be. Their bodies, whatever, they make them into gods. That's it. But in reality, that's only Achedim make it Elokim. There's one God. Gadol Havayim Olam Ha'ed. V'neiru al kol Elokim means the level of Yud Kevavki, godliness, is much more powerful than Elokim. And he says, skip the parentheses, V'hainu lefi shekol asher chavetz Hashem asa. Whatever Hashem wants, nimshach v'asa gam b'shamayim v'aretz. Why is it? Because Hashem's will created the form of what to do with the matter that was created b'dvar Hashem. שכולם ישנם צירות תמונפים חפץ ורצון הוויה, שהוואד שלבא לידי גילוי בדיבור. It didn't come through speech. In other words, like this. Matter was created with speech. Form wasn't created with speech. Form was created with willpower. And he says why?
Of God? Or
Yeah, because dibor payal ayashes. Speech, like we said, is tangible. It leaves the person. So speech represents something leaving you. Yesh, not bittul.
Speech engenders, it doesn't. And causes.
Speech separates from you after you speak.
Right.
Correct? So when Hashem spoke, what's in the parable? The nimshal is that what Hashem created with speech, from our perspective, seems to be a separate entity. But then there's a level of godliness that was revealed not through speech, through will, that is too great to make it yesh me'ayin. That is the elukus of the form that gives it the ability to transform it back to godliness, to make the yesh back into the ayin. V'zeu inyan shitaf midas rachmim. That's the level of shitaf midas rachmim. The Gemara says like this. It's a medrash, not a Gemara. At the beginning of creation, it says Bereshit bar Elokim, 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 Hayom Elokim, Hayom Elokim. At the end of creation, before Sheni in Bereshit, is a B'yei Maseis Hashem Elokim Eretz Shemayim. All of a sudden, the name Havai is stuck in there. So the Medrash says like this.
What day will Yom Shini?
At the end, no, at the end of Shishi. So it says like this. Betchila, and you have to understand, it's not, God forbid, God changed his mind. Betchila haya b'machshavti livrei Yisrael b'midas hadin. Initially, Hashem created the world. He wanted to create the world with midas hadin. Okay, I'll explain. Ra she'nayim miskayim. He saw the world wouldn't be able to exist like that. Shitafim midas harachmim. He combined in it. He partnered in it. Midas harachamim. So the Medrash says, at the beginning everything was Elokim, Elokim, because Hashem initially wanted to create the world with Elokim. But Elokim is midas hadin, which means, plain din, you do something wrong, you're out of here. No second chance, no tshuva, no nothing. Hashem saw the world, this is simple meaning. Hashem saw the world wouldn't be able to exist, so he put in midas harachmim, he added yud kevavke to it. And therefore it says at the end, B'yem HaSeit Hashem Elokim. That's the simple meaning of the Medrash. Here the Alter Rebbe is explaining in a deeper sense, Hashem first created midas hadin. Elokim, concealment.
Why not love?
Because he didn't create the world with love. He created the world with din. He created the matter. With words, meaning the matter, not that it's realistically separated, but in its own perception, the matter feels to be a separate entity. Yesh mi'ayin, meaning the ayesh doesn't know its source. That's as far as he's concerned, he's not bottled to it, it's nothing, he has no source. But then, shitafim midas harachmim, that's the level of the tzura. Why did Hashem create that level of midas hadin? Because he wanted have the level of the tzura, meaning the purpose of creation in that creation. So Elokim is a level of speech that creates. Havaya is kol asher chavetz havaya asa, not Elokim. Chavetz havaya asa, it's the level of Yud Kevavke, which is that level of the purpose of creation to make the world back into bittul.
Would we say tefillah is the matter and Havana is the force?
I'm sorry, can you?
In everything there is form and matter. When you daven, the words is the matter. The intent is the form. You learn Torah, what you're learning is the matter. Yeah? Why you're learning it, how you're learning it, with Kedusha, not with Kedusha, that's the form. You have a Gashmistika thing, that's the matter. What we do with it is the form.
Can you repeat what you said before?
If you think I remember what I said,
No, just
what? About what?
how Elohim was chosen.
Hashem created the world with Elohim, concealment. Because if Hashem would create the world with the revelation of the infinite God, finite world would not exist. If God revealed infinite, finite world wouldn't be able to exist. So Hashem, in order to have a world, Hashem had to create it with the finite level of Elokus. That is called Elohim.
Right.
So initially Hashem created the world as Elohim. It should be a limited world of matter, chomer. But what is the purpose of it? Shitaf imei midas harachma. Hashem wanted that in this matter should be the infinite level of God, which is the purpose of creation. Kol asher chafetz Hashem asa. Hashem chafetz. That's the level of Elokus that's above the level of separation from Hashem, of separation from Hashem. So many scams, unbelievable.
What does Adnut is doing?
What?
Where is Adnut in this?
Adnut is more like Elohim.
Pardon?
Elohim, it's like Elohim.
So it's the same?
To a certain extent. Shebachol ma'aseh b'reishis sevayim Elohim. And then it says, Shita midas harachman. Dichse b'yem asayis Hashem Elohim. And that's what it says. The Goyim say, Lama yomer ha'goyim ayenu Elokeim. Where is their godliness? That means, Shebechinas Elokus, when you say, where, what did the Goyim say? What says in Tilim? Lama yomer ha'goyim ayenu Elokeim. That means the Goyim, the nations, Klippa says, where is their God? Now, you mean when you say where, if it's in front of you, you don't have to say where is it. Where is it means it's not in front of you, it's concealed. So the Goyim are saying, where is that concealment? Well, okay, to be continued.